Alright, welcome back everyone. Sorry this video is in two parts, but the memory card on my camera ran out of space, so I had to delete some old stuff. But where was I at? Oh yeah, I was finishing up my thoughts on the AJ Page match. Again, like I said before, it's really unfortunate that they were given such a sloppy angle because they're talented, entertaining wrestlers, and they really deserve more, and they deserve more. They deserve better, and hopefully WWE learns their lesson, and they give them something better to work with. So let's move on to the main event, the penultimate match of the event, of the Hell in a Cell event, I should say. Rollins versus Ambrose. This was a rivalry months in the making, and it was rich in storyline, and you were waiting to see what would happen. We were hoping that Ambrose would come out victorious, get sweet revenge, and claim vengeance upon the man who betrayed him. Unfortunately, Bray Wyatt didn't want that to happen. I'll get to that in a bit, but to start out with the match. The match in itself was, in all accounts, a good match. I mean, they started this match out on top of the cell, which I thought was, a good idea, because this was in Ambrose's nature to be a bit out of the box, to be unorthodox, and he went up on the cell, and I admit that was a good start. Once Rollins got up there, because he sent his henchmen, Jamie Noble and Joey Mercury, up there, and that was kind of whatever. But once Rollins got up there, then it really started to pick up, because Ambrose brought the kendo stick up there, and they took turns beating each other with that. I think one of them or both of them landed suplexes, and eventually came down to them falling off the cell. Now this is where it gets a bit mixed for me. I appreciate the fact they were willing to take that sort of bump, and all in accounts it was kind of a good spot, but what I didn't like about it is that they were already halfway down. Unless those tables are made from IKEA or balsa wood, they're not going to break that easily. I mean, it was really kind of a letdown, especially when I saw, 1998 Hell in a Cell Undertaker Mankind, where he fell from top of the cage through a table. Now, granted, I understand why WWE did it like that. This is the PG era, and they're even making their extreme spots a little bit, less extreme for the sake of the wrestlers, and whatever. But in there they had this stretcher part that kind of slowed down the match and took too long. But once Ambrose got up and dragged Rollins into the cell, it started to pick up right again. Wow, that sounded bad, but regardless, the match really started to pick up. I mean, they brought out the tables, they brought out chairs. I mean, Rollins powerbombed Ambrose through a table. Ambrose gave a Randy Savage worthy elbow drop to Rollins through a table, which is probably my favorite part of the match, honestly. And here's where the ending gets in, and here's what really pissed me off, and you're about to see why. So, for those of you who didn't know, a couple of months ago, they thought the rivalry ended when Rollins curb-stomped Ambrose through a pile of cinder blocks. Well, this was going to happen again, except Ambrose was going to do it. And this was the ultimate in retribution. This was like, yeah! Ambrose did it. He's going to do it right now. He's going to do the exact same thing that almost ended his career in storyline. But what happened? Lights went out. A weird hologram started to flash, backwards chanting, and then Bray Wyatt comes out, Sister Abigail's him, Rollins pins him. And I can tell you that once that happened, I got up, walked quietly outside, and I cussed as loud as I possibly could. That was the most infuriating ending to this. I've come to the conclusion that the WWE is starting to care less and less about just letting matches happen and go along as matches. They have to have some big shocking moment like, oh, someone came out and did that? No, that was stupid, and it was a bad ending to a great rivalry. You know, Ambrose deserved the win because, you know, I really don't need to say anything more than that. Ambrose deserved the win, and Bray Wyatt shouldn't have been out there in the first place. And I understand if they're trying to set up new rivalries, for example, like Orton Rollins, because Orton's starting to, I guess, turn face, and they may want to do something with Ambrose and Wyatt, but they shouldn't have done it the way they did it. You know, they should plan things a little bit out better, and that was the main problem, I think, of this Hell in a Cell event match. The booking. They put a great match first, and a match no one really gave two shits about as a main event. They placed another match that I think shouldn't have been placed where it's at. Those two matches in between should have definitely gone closer to the beginning. And it ended in a way that I didn't think it should have ended. So, all in all, if you're going to watch it, take caution. There are good moments, but all in all, it was a bittersweet affair. So, like I said, when you watch it, take it with a grain of salt. That's all I have. Later.